Welcome to the Business Spotlight. I'm Tanya Waring, sitting in today for Patrick Dewar. It is my pleasure to bring you Dr. Mary Swift, DFW's 2011-2012 Consumer Choice for Cosmetic Dentistry. One of the things I love about Dr. Swift is she has this very relaxed and calm personality that she exudes, and she brings it into her office space. So join me as I welcome Dr. Mary Swift. Thank you for being here today.
Hi, Tanya.
I absolutely love your office and the heated massage chairs, the warm scented towels. You do so much to bring an environment for your patients that's calm and pleasant. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, going to the dentist is not everybody's favorite thing to do, to say the least. And so we understand that those obstacles are there for some people, and we just try and remove all the obstacles we can. And it's not just about the environment we create, physical environment, it's the people on my team. Each and every step of the way, the ladies I have as part of my team are experts at comfort and convenience, and are just brilliantly knowledgeable in their areas of expertise. And the whole team coming together, I think, is what sets us apart.
It absolutely does. So it's no surprise to me that you have won such awards as you have for cosmetic dentistry. And the last time you were on our show, we talked about Invisalign. And if you want to just recap a little bit about Invisalign for us and the importance of that.
Again, technology at its peak in dentistry is Invisalign. Align Technologies is the company behind Invisalign, and they do more research on their product than anything I've come across, and are continuing to improve the product, improve its delivery. It's basically invisible braces. You know, adults, grown-ups don't necessarily want to walk around with wires and brackets and bands on their teeth, yet they want that nice straight smile. And Invisalign straightens your teeth without anyone knowing you're doing it, virtually invisible. Best technology we have.
I absolutely love it. Everything you do is just of the highest quality. And today we're going to talk about DaVinci Veneers. And I don't really understand what veneers are about, so if you can kind of give us a little overview for myself and our audience, just what exactly are veneers?
I'd love to. Veneers are a layer of porcelain that is bonded to the tooth surface. It's permanent. It doesn't come off. We can change shape, size, color. We can close spaces. It's Hollywood. It's a Hollywood smile.
I love it.
The quality of porcelains have increased tremendously over the years. They're more lifelike. Pretty much a good veneer, you don't know. It's not natural tooth structure.
Wow, that's so exciting. And I know we've gone to your website and pulled up a before and after picture that I'd really like to share with our audience about this patient of yours.
Well, this particular patient was just looking for a brighter smile, a little pick-me-up. As we age, our teeth yellow and discolor and chip and wear down, and a yellow worn smile is an aged smile. We just wanted to give her basically a facelift, and it takes years off of your face when your smile is youthful.
And we've talked before, it's not just about on the outside, it also makes a difference on the inside for many of your patients as well.
We change lives.
That's got to be so fun. One of the things that we began to talk about too is the product you use is a DaVinci Veneer, and in our next segment we're going to talk a little bit about why someone would want to use DaVinci Veneers over other products. Do you have any other stories about veneers and how those have changed lives, or different ages? Who's like your ideal client?
My ideal client is someone that knows their smile is holding them back. If you don't perceive the need, you don't need. So somebody that knows that their smile is holding them back.
Yep. And so if you or someone you know is looking at brightening or whitening your smile, I really encourage you to look at Mary's website, which is DaVinci-Veneers Dallas.com. And what you will find there is you can even take a virtual tour of our office, see some more of the before and after pictures for yourself. The other thing about the DaVinci Veneers is it a difficult process, or is it pretty simple for most anybody?
Well, you can have as little as one tooth
Okay.
veneered, or as many as all of them.
All of them.
Each case is dependent on the patient's needs and wants. The process itself is usually 2 appointments. One, the first appointment, all the work is done, but then you leave with temporary veneers in place while the laboratory fabricates the real veneers. And then the
Okay.
second visit, they're bonded and seated in place.
And we're going to get into all of this with more detail. So why don't you, this is just one of the Invisalign and the DaVinci Veneers. You have several processes that you use as well beside Invisalign. You do whitening as well, right?
Whitening, almost always. Invisalign, whitening, a little bit of laser contouring of the gum tissue, and veneers. All of that, all of those procedures add up to a beautiful smile. It's hardly ever just one procedure. Veneers are the icing on the cake. Invisalign gets everything in the right position, whitening so that we can match the white lower teeth to the top, and then veneers.
Great. We're going to take a quick pause, and we'll be right back, so stay with us, and there's more to come. Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. We're here today with Dr. Mary Swift with Dallas Laser Dentistry, DFW's consumer choice for cosmetic dentistry for the last 2 years. Dr. Swift, you're going to share with us now really the process, go into in great detail on the process of how veneers happen, how you schedule your appointments, and what someone could expect if they were looking at DaVinci Veneers for themselves.
Great. Well, it's always best to start with a design.
Yes.
Like any construction project, a good design. Lots of photographs, what patients do with their lips when they smile. Is it even? Is it not even? Lots of candid photographs trying to catch the patient in the easiest smile they have, because my objective is always not to make the first thing somebody sees is your teeth. They should not be distracted. You should focus on the eyes, and the smile is icing on the cake, basically. So a good design, we look at the gum contour, not just the teeth. We look at length to width ratios of each tooth. We look at symmetry. We look at the lip line. We look at color. We look at alignment. All of this adds up to a discussion with the patient of their expectations, what I know I can achieve, and do those two meet for a design that ends up with the smile the patient's always dreamed of.
I absolutely love that. Now, that isn't always the case, is it? You were telling me for you it is, but for, you've had people call you in emergency situations.
I have. I've been the rescue me doctor here recently, 2 cases in particular, and the patient showed up at the other dentist's office to have their veneers bonded in place, looked at them and went, oh, I mean, they were chalky white, no life. The patient could tell this. The patient could see that's not what she wanted on her teeth. She called me. We had a long discussion. I took a look at the case. I could see where improvements could be made, and we've got a happy smile out there now.
Yep. So when you're talking about taking all the before and afters and really looking at everything in the whole, all the components that go into that, it's really important, isn't it?
It's important to know the products that are available. One porcelain is not the same as another. The laboratories that you deal with, I deal with DaVinci, and we'll get into this in the next segment, I guess, because they know what they're doing, and they know me, and they know I know what I'm doing. It's a perfect relationship. But you have to not only have an aesthetic eye to be able to analyze a smile and know what needs to happen to make it a beautiful smile, but you have to know what the products are that are available to use to make it a perfect smile.
And how long have you been practicing cosmetic dentistry, if you don't mind my asking?
17 years.
Wow.
I was a dental hygienist for 15 years before that, so dentistry is all I've ever done.
Yes, absolutely. And I like what you talk about, creating a natural-looking smile for people. I've had several friends who have done the veneers, and really I didn't notice their smiles so much, but after they had it done, they just had this dazzling look about themselves.
Somebody should say you look well rested or you look great.
Yes.
They shouldn't say you got your teeth fixed.
Right. There was just something there that was so different, but I always didn't know how to put
I did have one patient that came in and she insisted on the white chart on how white to go, on the absolute whitest. And I said, those aren't going to look real. And she said, honey, nothing about me's real. And she wanted that paid for look. I don't recommend that. Well, I want it to blend in. I want it to match your face. I want it to look as natural as possible.
That's so great. Now, one of the things, too, is that when we're looking at a process such as this, there's a cost involved. Do you offer any kind of financing for your patients?
We can almost always make it work.
Great.
Absolutely.
Great. And so I know when we talk about Invisalign, you told me that you had a patient in her 70s who was in Invisalign.
Yes.
That's so exciting.
Oh, you should never prejudge. You should never assume that patient walking in your office doesn't want the absolute best you have to offer just because of their age.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Do we have another before and after that we've taken from your website that you'd like to talk about?
Let's take a look. Yes. Now, this is one where we had to pay attention to the gum line. If you look at the before, you can see more gum tissue showing in her smile. Just lifting the tissue gets a less gummy smile, more tooth in the picture.
That's great. Now, in our next segment, we are really going to talk about why DaVinci Veneers over all the other veneers that are out there. And you have reasons for, you really know the products and the market. You're well educated in that. And I think it's no surprise at all that you have been selected DFW's 2011-2012 Consumer Choice for Cosmetic Dentistry. And if you'd like, you can take a look at Dr. Swift's website at DaVinci-Veneers-Dallas.com, and you can take a virtual tour of her office and see many more before and after pictures of her great work in cosmetic dentistry. Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. I'm Tanya Waring with Dr. Mary Swift today of Dallas Laser Dentistry. And Dr. Swift, we've been talking about DaVinci Veneers, and I really am curious to find out what sets DaVinci apart from some of the other leading brands in veneers.
They're artists, number one, first and foremost. It's a California lab, which sort of came into the spotlight. Remember the show Smile Makeover?
Yes.
About 10 years ago? Well, Bill Dorfman out in California used DaVinci Laboratories for his Smile Makeovers. And so that tweaked my interest, and I have been working with them for 10 plus years. I've got my own lab technician. I've got my own ceramist, the person that stacks porcelain, which is very important because communication. I've worked with this ceramist long enough for him to know what I want, and I know what he can do, and communication in that situation is make or break for a good case. You know, the ceramist, the lab technician, the little artist sitting there creating the piece of porcelain has to read what I give him. And if he's not comfortable communicating with me and telling me what, you know, what he thinks, you know, would work best, so open communication, artists on their side, they are the only lab that offers a lifetime warranty on their product. And this is important because if a veneer chips or needs a little maintenance, if it's been done by DaVinci, the patient doesn't pay that lab bill again. That's big.
Really?
Yeah. That's
and
big.
That's not an industry standard.
DaVinci, to the best of my knowledge, is the only lab that offers that lifetime warranty on their product.
Wonderful. And so you mentioned artists a couple times. Is that why they're Hollywood-based? Do you think? I mean,
well,
really
laboratories
artisans.
are all over, and there are some good local labs. I just have never been disappointed by DaVinci. They have always shown me perfection with what they bring back to the table.
Yes. So if I were going to come in and have work done, how many appointments does it take to work with a DaVinci veneer?
Well, if you're a bride and your wedding is next week, which always happens, we'll get it done. Now, it's expected to be 2 visits. The first visit where all the work is done, okay? And I'll say impressions are taken, but in my office we've done away with the impressions. It's now all scanned digitally, computerized into the computer. There's no more goopy material permanently.
So they come in for the appointment, and you put temporaries on the first appointment?
In that first visit, so we are removing the same amount of tooth structure that we're replacing with the porcelain. You can't just stack on top, okay? Then you've got bulky that doesn't work, okay?
Right.
So there is some drilling involved. You may see some prepless veneers, no drill veneers that are advertised out there. I've got some issues with that. If anybody wants to know, I can go into that.
Well, I think it's good to know what to look out for.
Yeah. And so if anyone's got a question about that, let me know. But most of the work's done on the first visit. Second visit, like I said, we try them in and okay, the temporaries, yes. When you leave from that first visit, you have a prototype, let's call it, of what your smile will look like. It's not the exact, because it's me fabricating it chair side as opposed to the porcelain that's worked to ideals in the lab. So it's me seating, my temporaries that you leave with, which I have had people come back and say, can I keep these, the temporaries, which I say, you didn't pay for plastic, you paid for porcelain, and seating the real veneers. So ideally 2 visits. Now, sometimes if I need to tweak a little something, there might be another visit involved.
Well, one of the things I was reading on your website, and your website is very informative, by the way. I encourage everybody in our audience to go out and take a look at the website. I noticed that it said that veneers can sometimes be healthier than the original tooth, and I don't think I ever really considered that.
Well, as we age, if we've got conditions like grinding at night or acid reflux, which would weaken the enamel can get thin over time. So you actually are adding a layer of reinforcement in some situations with a veneer.
Wow, that's just so fascinating. Everything you do, you really have the perspective of making the patient healthier.
Oh, always.
In what you're doing. It's never just cosmetic at the cost or expense of their health, but it's an improvement in every.
And sometimes that's one of those tiptoe around the chair kind of situations, because you'll have somebody sit down and say, I only want this fixed, you know, and you got to address the whole picture. You can't, you can't make improvements on a house with a bad foundation.
Absolutely. And in our next segment, we are going to talk about the improvements of DaVinci Veneers and creating that foundation that Dr. Mary Swift spoke about, so that our patients and our viewers and anybody interested in true dental health can start to understand what it takes to create that strong foundation for that cosmetic smile that will last a long time. Welcome back to the Business Spotlight. We have Dr. Mary Swift talking about DaVinci Veneers. And as we promised, we're going to talk about the process of building a healthy smile as well as a beautiful smile. So we have some before and afters from your website again, some real life cases of yours that I would like to share with our studio audience and have you explain to us everything that's involved in creating these beautiful, healthy smiles for them.
That'd be great. This patient was about to enter the workforce for the first time, graduated college, and he had spacing between his teeth which made for a more juvenile smile. We think of little kids with spaces. So he wanted to have his smile match his position in life, so we matured his smile and brightened it by putting veneers on his front teeth, whitening the lowers, and doing a little bit of gum contouring. You can see how there's less gum showing in the after picture.
I had never even considered gum contouring. So do you do that quite a bit as well?
It should be as important as the tooth, gums and teeth, all in the picture.
Great. And then you have a client, a before and after picture that I find really fascinating as well. And I believe this person you actually used Invisalign with first?
That might be coming up. This particular before and after involves dental implants, bridge work, and veneers. This was a full mouth rehabilitation. In other words, we worked on every single tooth in his head. We had to regain function as well as aesthetics. That was a quite involved case.
So remind us again, what would happen if you didn't do this foundational work with the veneers?
Yeah.
If someone just came in and said, I want veneers, I want only veneers,
right.
what might be the outcome?
And the outcome would be veneers not lasting very long. And the outcome from that would be the public not trusting cosmetic dentistry. So as a mission,
you have a mission.
I have a mission. You always have to have good tooth alignment. In other words, the top teeth and the bottom teeth should meet in a way that is not traumatic to any work that's placed on top of it. So long story short, fix the foundation with a little bit of Invisalign to get things in an ideal position. We can do only so much with porcelain, you know, before it overreaches the goal or its capabilities. So getting things in alignment, in a better position with Invisalign, whitening, because a lot of times we will put porcelain on the top. Well, if the bottom is a whole different color, that's not going to look natural.
Right.
So whitening. Again, with the gums, you have to look at length to width. Are the gums at the same level on the two front teeth? I don't know if you've ever seen someone looks like all they have is a big front tooth because the gum is a different height. And then from there, you actually look at face proportions. The face is divided into thirds, and where is it's a mathematical equation along with physics for directional forces, along with cosmetics for a good eye for what should happen. Lots of experience, lots of cases that have been done that you know will work. All of that adds up to a better outcome for the patient. But you do have to look at the whole picture, not just the front 6 teeth.
Now, one of the things we talked to, I don't think we covered, but I think it's important, is how long should veneers last?
A lifetime.
A lifetime?
The number one reason for patients switching out their porcelain is gum recession. So over time, as we age, our gums do recede. When the gums recede, then a little bit of the edge of the porcelain will show, and so in order to scoot that back up underneath the gum tissue, patients will have their veneers switched out.
for some reason, I was thinking that they needed to be replaced more often than that. So, you know, the work you do just provides so much for so many people. How long is a typical treatment plan when someone comes in to visit you?
First and foremost, health, as we've talked about. So we have to make sure the gum and bone are in good health. So there's usually a series of x-rays to check the gum and bone health and for decay. So we clean things up, get everything healthy, and then you can start with the pretty. So, you know, usually if somebody walks in and they've had good dental preventive care and they're coming to my office for just veneers, the icing on the cake, that should be a turnaround in 2 appointments.
Right.
Okay? But if we have to establish health first, that'll take a little bit longer, but well worth it and should never be ignored. Always take care of health before beauty.
Absolutely. So if I were looking to have veneers or to have some cosmetic dentistry done at your office at Dallas Laser Dentistry, what would be the steps that I would take?
Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone, give you a call.
Give us a call.
At 214-736-4697. And your receptionist will answer the phone?
She will, and like I said, the public will notice from that first phone call why we are who we are. We research your insurance for you. A lot of offices won't do that. We will try and optimize your appointments. I've been with practitioners, dentists who believe in multiple visits before anything is done. You know, people are busy these days, you know, so we try and make sure that we economize and optimize everybody's time and be respectful of their time and get the job done.
Absolutely. And consultations are free.
Consultations are free. Second opinions, I welcome, because if your little red flag went up and you want to know whether what's going to permanently change in your mouth is what needs to happen and you're not so sure, please call. Please call.
Well, if you or someone you know has been looking to whiten, brighten, or have a healthier smile, do yourself a favor and call Dr. Mary Swift at Dallas Laser Dentistry. Her phone number is 214-736-4697. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain, a smile that will bring you attention and everything that you've been looking for.